In this video, we will see how to start a blog and make money with affiliate marketing. So if you're a beginner and you've never done this before, we'll look at just what it takes on a basic level. To get started, we definitely need hosting, that is the web space that will host our website. And obviously we need a domain associated with it, so the domain is the actual name that our site will take. For example, offeronline.it. To do this, we rely on SiteGround, which is one of the simplest platforms to use, but also the most effective when it comes to hosting and domain creation. Hosting is essential because it allows us to have a fast and high-performance site. So if the hosting is of quality, our site will certainly load very quickly and will allow us to have excellent conversions. Then we definitely need a CMS. CMS is just software that we need to create the site without having to be programmers. There are many by now. The most famous one that you will surely have heard of is WordPress. WordPress practically allows us to create our site in a very simple way without having any type of programming experience. And then associated with WordPress, there are plugins. They are additional components that WordPress offers to create the site and even helps us create the site with better graphic elements and optimize it. There are thousands of plugins for WordPress, but here I present the ones that we recommend for beginners. Remember, having too many plugins could be a disadvantage because they still have their weight and slow down the site if too many are installed. Surely the ones we recommend to start with are Elementor with Elementor Pro, which is the paid version, which you can also, let's say, buy at a later time. Meanwhile, you can start with Elementor, which is the free version. This plugin allows us to create our landing pages in a really elegant way without being programmers, and we will have a very intuitive drag and drop interface where we will simply drag the various icons and screens, so it's something very simple. After that, we have Pixel Your Site, which we will need to install the Facebook tracking pixel mainly, but you could also install other pixels such as that of Google or TikTok, for example. Then another plugin that I recommend is the one for duplicating pages. Then maybe we will look at them more specifically. Why? Because when you create a landing page anyway, the skeleton of the landing page will generally serve as a basis for you to then create other landing pages for other products. So this way you don't have to redo it every time from scratch, but you will always have your basic landing page which you can quickly duplicate and use for other products. The last plugin is one that we need to speed up the site to ensure that our site is super performing in terms of speed. Three. Total Cache helps us exactly in this way, to streamline the code of the site and make it load faster without knowing anything at the code level. Well, these are the plugins that I recommend. Now, I'll show you very briefly how to go to SiteGround to create the site, and then I'll show you an example site and how WordPress works and how to install the plugins and all the other things. To access SiteGround, you can type SiteGround on Google and the siteground.com site will appear, open it, and you can very simply create your hosting. The hosting plans are incredibly affordable right now. As I'm recording, there is even a Black Friday offer, and so you can obviously get an additional discount. However, you can definitely choose the startup plan, which is this one here, the one on the left to begin with. These are discounted prices at the moment. It will cost a little more, but not by much. So go ahead and purchase. As you can see, SiteGround already offers you free domain registration. This is included in the installation of your web space for your hosting, so you also have free registration of the domain. So choose a domain here. Obviously, it needs to be a domain that doesn't already exist. If I use a fairly common one, it's certainly already taken. But let's try Online Offers Italy. Now I've chosen one just to see if it's available. This one, for instance, is available. This may even be a terrible name, but choose something a bit more catchy. I'm only giving you an example here. Let's look below. Let's see if there's anything else. Once you have done this, you essentially go to pay. Once you have paid, SiteGround generates your space for you. You pretty much have control of your hosting in your control panel, where you can install WordPress very easily with a guided procedure. In fact, SiteGround already provides it pre-installed. You just need to create a site, install WordPress, and with 3 clicks, it has essentially installed WordPress for you. So you already have the skeleton of your site with WordPress, where you can already enter and make all modifications. Now let's see an example site that I already have, where I have already installed WordPress. I'll show you 2 or 3 things. This is an example site where WordPress is installed. As you can see, it's empty. It's a site that has 2 or 3 things, no more. To access the background of the site, just add WP admin to the domain and you are on your login screen, where you will obviously enter the user and password. Click on login and the background of the site in WordPress will open. Now I'll show you the basic things you need to do at the beginning. Click on Settings and give it a name. In this case, the title of the site is the same as the domain and a motto that you can decide as you wish. Then go to permalink and change the permalinks. Let's go down a bit with the item name article, because by default WordPress gives you the simple permalink, but as you can see, when a page is created, it's not even nice to look at. So if you create a page and give it a name, it will give you the URL with that name in an organized manner. I definitely recommend you tick the article name and save. To install the plugins, go to the plugin item. Click on Add New, and here you can install the plugin you need. For example, if we want to install Elementor, which is the first in the list that I recommended, you can write it in the search and it goes to look for you. But I already have it. Let's take the duplicate page plugin as an example. Now I write the duplicate page. There are many duplicate pages, so I usually look at the ones that are most installed and have the most reviews. This is the one that I already have activated, as you can see, but there are also others you can install. This one here has many active installations. At the moment I can't find any other relevant ones, so you could install either this or that. The important thing is that you install one for this sort of thing. Then for the other plugins, as you've seen, you just need to search for it. Once it has been installed, click on Activate and it will activate for you, and you will find it in the installed plugins. Now here you will find a few more, which then obviously everyone can install the ones they want. However, as you can see, there is Elementor Pro, which in my case is also the paid version. Then here there are others that I use, and then we have the one for speed, and finally we have the one for the duplicate page, which I have already mentioned here was this one, so they are all there. Alright, for this introductory video on hosting and WordPress, that's all. See you in the next video.